I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.
Hello everybody, Dave here for another episode of Dave Gets Shaftheadgrip, where I'm messing about with some golf clubs. On the previous video, I was practicing or testing a couple of different ways of cleaning up the golf clubs, and I did it on one club and I got to a point where I was like, I'm fairly confident with what I was doing, so I am actually going to move on to the main set of clubs that I wanted to do up. Now it's the set of clubs that I've already done the grips on, and now it's time to do the heads, because the grips look new, nice and tidy. The shafts could do with a clean up, but that's after I've done the heads. But these particular heads, as I've mentioned before, they've got a bit of discoloration on them, and it does make them look a bit shitty really, but there's nothing wrong with them. But if I show you, just tilt the camera down here. Okay, let's try and make sure the camera's fall over. Okay, so hopefully on the camera you can see that this area is darker than this area. So this is basically where the ball has been hit, and it's taken off all of the black paint. So what I'm going to do is take off all of the rest of the black paint. We're also going to re-groove this. These aren't as bad as the other club that I practiced on, and this is the Sandwedge, so this would be a very used club, but actually the grooves are in much better condition, but these grooves have paint in them. So they've got white paint in all of them apart from the last two here, which has got red paint. Now, I don't have the paints yet, but I am looking at getting them. So what I'm going to be doing is cleaning up the head, this bit of the shaft, and then we'll do the underside. But also on this edge, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, so on this edge, there is a bit of a notch. What I'm going to try and do is see if I can sort of smooth that out a little bit, and give just a little bit of a sharper edge to the blade, like it would have had before. A cleaner edge so that it can play cleaner shots. We'll see how we get on with that. Now I'm not looking at trying to make it go down hard, trying to get perfection. That's not what I'm going for here. But I do want to get it all cleaned up nice and silver, get it polished if we can. Now I may have titled this series of videos as well as sort of like, how to clean up or how to refurbish the clubs, but then I'm not sure if I could do it as a how-to series just yet, because let's face it, I'm learning how to do it, and so I suppose I could do how I do it, but anyway, so I'm just going to give these a bit of a clean with some rubbing alcohol. Obviously this is one step that we didn't do before doing the grooves on the test club, but at least with this it will be able to hopefully get a load of the crap and dirt out, which it is doing. Get a bit of cloth, give it a while. I'll tell you what, this clamp though, so useful. I'm so glad that I got this one, fully adjustable. Yeah, very pleased. Okay, so with it now, even I can see on the screen, we can much clearer see all of the white paint, and even the red paint actually that's on the club. So it just goes to show how much dirt and shit was on them. I mean, I could probably still get more off. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do with this series as well is, obviously I'm talking a little bit now, But what I'm going to do when it comes to me actually starting to sort of get the Dremel out on these, I will go into sort of fast forwarding mode, so that you're not just listening to the Dremel going mental. You can listen to some dodgy music instead. But yeah. Okay, so the other thing with this club as well is, compared to the one we practiced on, the one we practiced on had a very different colour metal in here compared to the edges. Well, this is a different style of golf club, so the whole club was black, and the whole club, when the black is gone, is all the same sort of silver. So by taking all the black off, it's not going to make it look worse, it's actually going to make it look a lot neater and a lot tidier. And one thing I just want to quickly do is I want to show I'll actually give the other side a clean as well, because I want to have a bit of a look at the other side, because one of the things I haven't fully decided on yet is the cutout part, whether I go for taking all the paint off there or not, or whether I try and keep the inner bit the slightly darker, because that's had no impacts, so it shouldn't really have affected it. But then if I'm trying to polish around the edge, it'll only take one slip in there and I'll end up having to do it. So I may be better off just doing it anyway. I think I might have to just come to that. But so on here as well, we can see you've got the letter in here, HPC 92E in the white and red. Again, I mean, that's bits that once I've cleaned this up could probably do with being touched up a bit with the paint, just like the stuff on the back. But I haven't got the paint yet. Okay, so let's fasten this up again. Now, I have moved my position and I'm hoping that when I actually start trying to clean this up, you'll have a better view of what is actually happening in real time. Okay, so I'm going to get my safety gear on, and then I'm going to start dremeling, and with that bit we can fast forward. So I'll pop on some music and I'm sure I'll speak soon. bit of an update. I've done as much as I think I can do on this club at the moment. Also, I'm running out of time today to do stuff because I've got a live stream to do and I need to clean up in it. Okay, a couple of things. Number one, it's taken a lot longer than I thought it would. Number two, I was surprised that I had to do as much with a hand sander or hand sanding as I did, but as I was working on the club, I was finding out what was working well. The device has been a godsend. So practical. To be honest, I can't recommend these highly enough, and I wouldn't be surprised if I end up getting more of them. Absolutely brilliant to be able to just sit. I mean, even if I was doing woodworking stuff, I could clamp a piece of wood and polish it, and yeah, it'll hopefully make life a lot easier. It definitely did with this. Okay, as for the club, well, we've spent an absolute age working on it, and this is what it looks like. Okay, it's a different club. This is what it did look like, kind of. This is the pitch wedge, so the next club along. And I've shown this just so you can get a good sort of example of how the club was looking, and we'll have a look at how it's looking now. Show the back first. Okay, so looking a lot tidier. I am liking the look of keeping the back bit in. So I think I might try sticking with that. I've not perfectly done around the edges of it because I didn't want to go and mess it up, but it is looking much cleaner now. I have attempted to give it a bit of a polish, but I don't really think the cutting agent I was using, I don't really think it was the right kind of thing. But also I could do with a bigger polisher for this kind of stuff. You saw me clamp this into the vise. If I had the bigger buffing wheels in the machine, then it would be a hell of a lot easier to polish it. So it's not perfectly polished, but it's not far off. So it's looking a little bit dull because it's not fully polished up. Now the face, I've got to say, I'm very pleased with how the face is looking. I mean, you can see the reflection on there. I think it might be the lamp that it's getting a reflection of. But yeah, so I could still probably do with working a bit more on the grooves. But what I was thinking of doing is, because I think the grooves are actually cut quite nicely, but it's the paint that now makes it look messy. It's the paint in there. See, if we've got bits of paint, no paint. Now I could just keep grooving it and trying to get all the paint out, or I could just use a paint remover. So that's something that I'm going to try, because, for example, with these bits of lettering and stuff like that, let's say I decide I do want to go down the route of applying paint to clubs, then I need to be able to clean those out, and scratching it or filing it or digging it out is not going to be the way to do it. So paint remover should do it a lot better. Okay, I'll try and remove some of this masking tape. Now, as I mentioned, it did take a lot longer to accomplish than I wanted to, and okay, technically it isn't fully completed because of the paint in there, and like I say, it could do with a decent polish up actually. I mean, well, it's had some polish applied, but I could do it again as a buffer. But I'm just too knackered to do that at the moment. But I'm very pleased with how it looks. I'm very pleased how it's come along. This one, like I say, took a long time to do, but I'm hoping that the next one will be quicker and the next one will be quicker and so on. I'm trying to think, things that I sort of struggled with. I definitely had a bit of difficulty in the heel of the club here, where the curvature was. It was difficult with the lighting for me to be able to tell if what I was seeing was a shadow or was the old paint. Where else was difficult? That was about it, really. Oh, yes, I've just remembered what I did want to show you. Okay, so before we started this, I mentioned that there was, let's see if, okay, so like on this one, right, you might be able to see there are notches along here, and I showed you that on this club. I showed the notches on the leading edge. What notches? So that was one of the things that did take quite some time for me to do, but I was able to sand it down, and I needed to make sure that I didn't just go at it from one side to create a weird edge, because if you look, hopefully we've still got a very good edge on the club. It's not like I've created a knife edge or a weird shape on there. So I'm very pleased with how that leading edge has come out. I needed probably to do a bit more on this edge, but it didn't matter as much. But at least I was able to find out that yes, I could take those big notches out of there. Once I've done all the heads, I will have a look at doing the shafts, because if you can see, yeah, it just looks a bit sort of pitted. It's not trying to get the camera to focus on it. But anyway, you can see that there's coloration on it. And I'm hoping that just a bit of the sandpaper will be good enough to clean that up. I'll also take the stickers off because they're looking a bit old and nasty now. But like I said, the shafts I'll do after I've done the heads on all of the clubs. So for the moment though, I'm pretty much going to class that as done. Yes, there's the paint on there that I want to sort out, but I'm not looking at doing that at any time soon. It's not even going to be before the shafts. So for me, that's this club at the moment done. So just to do a quick side-by-side comparison, make sure I don't put the clubs through my roof. Here's a quick side-by-side comparison of almost like a bore before and after. Tell you what's the shaft. I can see the reflection of the shaft in the club head. I can see a bit of a reflection on this one, but not much. Show the backs. So yeah, it does look. It looks smart, doesn't it? This one. So yeah. Try and not hit the wall. So again, not perfectly shiny this one yet, but looks a hell of a lot better than this one. Okay, I'm pleased with that. Like I said, it took a long time, a lot longer than I was expecting it to take, but should be able to do them quicker from now on. And as I was doing it, the process, kind of learning a bit of the process, so it'll be sand it with the sandpaper, because I'm able to use a little bit coarser sandpaper to really get the old paint off. I don't need to worry about scratching the metal because it's very easy to clear scratches on it. Obviously, if I went to use 80 grit sandpaper, it's going to create a deep gouge, but I should be able to work around it anyway. So next time I can focus more on, right, let's just sand it till it's done, till it's cleared. Then we can get the wire brush on it in the Dremel to really clean up the metal. The other thing I didn't do as well with this is before I polished it, I didn't realise until I was already nearly finished polishing it, I didn't clean the club. So it would have still had dirt, dust, paint, metal flakes, all that shit on it. And that's another reason why I haven't tried polishing it more, is because really I need to give it a clean. I just can't be asked to do that now. So with the next one, I'll make sure that I give it a clean before I attempt buffing it. But yeah, so we'll sand it, we'll use the Dremel, we'll brush it, yeah, once we've done that, we can then do the grooves, like do the re-grooving. Just thinking actually, I'll do that before I do the brushing, I think. So if we sand it, groove it, then I can sand, once I've done the grooves, like sand that face again, then we can do the brush. Once we've done the brushing, then it's basically polishing. The other thing I did as well was using 240 grit to really get the dirt off. But once I'd done that, I did use the finer foam pad to just shine it up a little bit. Right, I'm tired now and I'm hungry and I've got stuff to do and I need to back up in here because I think there's a lot of metal flakes and paint everywhere, but I'm happy with how that went, and hopefully I'll just get better and better with it. Now, I do have a full set of clubs in there, all matching set, in a bag that I've been trying to sell. It's still up for sale, but with that being a matching set, that could do with a nice polish up. And I think once the clubs are made shiny, I think the price goes up. The only thing I need to do is try and make sure I can do it quicker than I currently am. Otherwise, yeah, as much as it's like a bit of a hobby, again, it's potentially a hobby that if I wanted to make money out of it, the money's not there. I mean, if it takes, I'm trying to think, total, I don't know, 3-4 hours, 3 hours, I think, maybe, to get that done. That's with breaks though, so say a couple of hours. Well, if it's a couple of hours per club and it's 14 clubs, that's 7 hours. So it's a day's pay. Maybe. Hang on, no, I've done the maths wrong. 2 hours times 14, so it's 14 times 2. It's fucking 28 hours, not 7 hours. It's 28 hours, which is 7, 14, 21. 4 days, something like 4 average working days. Yeah, so you're looking at a couple £100. Yeah, people ain't gonna pay that. Or if I did up a set and it take that long, I would not gonna then be able to sell it for over £200, unless they were top quality clubs. But so yeah, if I can get the length of time it takes down, that will help big time. But anyway, right, I'm done on going on, but I've waffled. So thank you for watching Dave Get Shaftheadgrip. Today's been the head. And the next video will be the next club. So have a good one, everybody. I'll see you all again soon.